As academics, we often don't think of ourselves as creative beings, and we are. If you think about it, being able to recognize and generate ideas, alternatives, possibilities, that's highly creative. Being able to actually come up with an area of focus in your research, to be able to read other people's work and synthesize, to be able to solve problems, to be able to analyze and interpret and put forward your ideas and communicate out into the world, that is incredibly creative. So this week in the academic writer space, our co-working community, our theme for the week is creativity. And the great thing about focusing on creativity is it actually opens up the door to the possibility of enjoying the process of conducting academic research and writing more, being able to actually experience, dare I say, pleasure. So here's some things to consider if you're coming to our co-working sessions. These are things you can practice on your own to really nourish your own creativity. So one thing to recognize is that creativity is a spark that can visit you at any given moment. And if you take time to step out of working, to be out in nature, to take walks, to sit and rest, to allow your brain to go offline from all of the thinking and working that you're normally doing, you may find that in that space, creative sparks come more often. And when they arrive, write them down. When you hear the voice in your head that says, you should remember that, that's your cue to write it down, because as quickly as a creative spark can arise in your system, that quickly it can leave. It's also really important for us to pay attention to our pace and the amount of pressure we're putting on ourselves. So think about as if you had two volume dials, one for the pace that you're moving at and one for the amount of pressure you're putting on yourself. When you're moving too quickly and you're multitasking or switch tasking and you're racing through your day, or there's a lot of pressure on you, and of course, often when we're moving quickly, we're feeling really pressured. When we feel like I've got so much to do and I've got to hurry and I've got to hustle, in that space where it's more like we're in a pressure cooker, and actually creativity is more likely to come online in a slow cooker. So slowing ourselves down and lowering the pressure, realizing, you know what, this is the first time I'm drafting this, I'm not going to expect it to be perfect, can help creativity visit you more often. Related to that, it can be really helpful to reorient yourself to have more of a process-oriented focus and less of a product-oriented approach to your work. It's so easy to confuse process with product. A product is something that happens after many, many rounds of work and revision and feedback and integrating that feedback, and it takes time to create a product. The process is something we engage with over time, and in that space there can be trial and error and experimentation and conversations and contemplation and brainstorming on paper and writing down words and circles and drawing arrows and making connections. That happens over time. That is our process. And when we rush our process to try to get to the product, it's harder to experience creativity as part of our journey, our unfolding journey of actually doing academic research and writing. It also can be helpful to have boundaries that you set to make it easier for you to connect with creativity, because it actually requires feeling safe, feeling some kind of containment often for creativity to come online. If you are in survival mode, it's not time to be creative. So setting boundaries around who can come in the room where you are, do you have protected time and space for yourself to work and let your guard down and relax and allow creativity to come online? I find it personally helpful to set boundaries where I'm really clear about a narrow scope of work that I'm doing, where I'm brainstorming and I'm purposely saying this is 45 minutes of exploration time, because I've set a boundary about the scope of what I'm doing and the amount of time I'm doing it. I find inside those boundaries, inside that structure, it's actually easier to surrender and to let go and to make space for creativity to visit. So it is going to be a great week, everyone, exploring creativity and actually how can we experience more pleasure, more enjoyment when we're actually carrying out academic research and writing. So if you've not experienced co-working with us, please come and experience really the profound difference that co-working, co-regulating, working in real time with other humans who are kind, the difference that that can make. Okay, sign up for a free week. I'd love to see you. And to all of you in our community, I adore you and I'm so looking forward to co-working with you this week.